I'm gonna be honest, I hope you guys can see me okay, because honestly, I can't see a dang thing right now. But we're making it work. Hello, welcome. Welcome back to my channel. Today, theme is Corpse Bride. I did this look inspired by one of my old 2021 looks I did, and I wanted to redo it. This is the old look, and I really wanted to retry to make an updated Corpse Bride look. Yeah, and I'm quite obsessed. I am so excited for this look, you have no idea. I am also wearing a top. I have a tube top on because we're going to be painting all of this, so I don't really want to mess up any of my shirts. So for my blue base, I usually use the Mayron Paradise Paints palette, but today I am going to do a different technique where I use a foundation that is too light for me, and I'm going to go in with some color correctors or color adapters for foundation. Before you start, make sure you prep your skin. I just washed it with a Cetaphil cleanser, and I'm going in with the Mayron Skin Prep because I do want to make sure that I have the majority of the oils off of my face. This will help the makeup last. Alright, so this is the foundation we are using. I'm just putting a little bit on both of my cheeks, and then we're going to mix in the... I should have did this on the back of my hand, but you know what? Too late. And I'm just adding the blue onto the skin. Yeah, I ended up having to add a lot of blue, but we are going to lighten this up, so I'm not too concerned with how blue it is right now. The key to this is really layering it on, but you have to wait for each layer to dry. So that's why it can get time consuming. And by the way, I love using a beauty blender for this process. I just feel like it adds the paints more seamlessly, and you also don't have like the stroke of the brush. And I'm slowly just working my way down my chest now with it. I don't like to do my ears, so I'm gonna avoid doing that today just because I don't feel like cleaning that out later. Out of the whole process, this takes the longest. So I actually got smarter and started mixing it on the back of my hand. And this is a great technique to do literally if you're like a face painter or you love doing cosplay. This is your best option for your colored bases, in my opinion. Obviously, as you get lower down, don't worry about it being perfect because you're going to be wearing your clothes. I should also mention to make sure that you're wearing something that you're not going to care if you mess up. It really is patient and trust the process. Okay, so now I'm going to set, and then we're going to do the rest of our work with eyeshadow. And please don't use an expensive setting powder for this. You really don't need to. I just use the Mayron Color Set powders. Like, I have my good setting powders for when I do like my glam makeup, but when it comes to like my Halloween time makeup, I would go through that like water. So I bought this from Mayron, and it's got a lot of product in it. I take a little bit in the lid on a brush and just start dabbing all over the face. I literally am making it snow right now over here. That's how much powder we're using. But this is what's going to keep the makeup in place. And this is also what's going to allow us to set the powders on top. So for her eyes, it's literally just like a navy blue smoky eye. So I pulled out two palettes, but two ColourPop palettes. This is On Cloud Blue and then the Blue Moon palette. So this is On Cloud Blue. I just feel like these blues aren't really going to work. I may be able to use this one, and that's probably it for like contouring and stuff. But for like her eye look, I feel like, well, I actually may be able to mix this one and the other one together. I'm going to start out with this blue right here actually. Paint is kind of like creased. I'm using this to kind of fill in that creased section. A very prominent brow bone, as you can see, so I'm going to work with that actually for this look. When you start like the shading and stuff, it's my favorite part. So now I'm going in with a flat brush, but this one's also fluffy. As you can tell, it's like flat but fluffy. Whereas this one I just used is just all rounded fluffy. That's how I describe brushes. So now we're going to go in with this True Blue shade that's right here, this one. And I'm going to go into that crease but bring it a little bit lower. The thing with smoky eyes is it's okay if they're messy. Smoky eyes are meant to be like very grungy looking. So I'm actually going to go in with the second blue we used for the eye, which is that like grayish toned blue. And I'm going to start by thinning out my nose. This is gonna look so weird, but... Alright, I don't really know how I'm feeling about the nose because I have a big nose in general, but we're gonna try the brows now and see how this looks. Okay, so going in for the brows, she does have like a very defined, like that. Wow, okay, well. Okay, going in with that second blue again, I'm going to take the brush I used for the setting powder, and now we're going to start defining some contouring areas to start really bringing the look together. Remember, you really want like the exaggerated deep contour, so don't be afraid to build it up. I told myself that I was going to look more of a human like Emily, but now the more that this look is coming together, I'm like, I kind of look like, I'm looking like the cartoon version. But that's part of the makeup process, is that you want, just let your creativity flow, whatever you feel, whether you're inspired by a look and you want to kind of look like just like a glammed version, or if you want to look like the actual character. I don't know, I'm kind of half and half at this point, but I'm not mad about it. Okay, now remember how I said I was going to come back and shade all this? It's really going to start to bring it together. Okay, so my camera died. I ended up plugging it in. I decided to throw the dress on that I'm going to wear. And then I did finish my chest piece as much as I could. I created like the illusion of like vertebrae columns mixed with the collarbone. But I did throw on the wig and it covers pretty much all of it. So I'm just leaving it like this. I'm not doing any more shading or detail work. So this is going to be good. I did go ahead also and put some white liner on my lower lash line and mascara. And now we're going to go in and create the black hole with the teeth on the side. Once you're done applying your black paint base, take the brush with no added paint and just lightly swipe like out. But while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and create the texture on the forehead that she has. I'm going to go in. Ooh, are you glued shut? My blood leaked on everything. I thought I was recording this whole time, but I wasn't. Anyway, so I plucked... I'm creating the texture on my face, which you could use latex if you want to, but I am using Prozaid, which is a glue. I'm using a Prozaid glue instead. You can use lash glue, same thing. But I dipped the sponge in there as I plucked it to create texture, and I just dabbed it on my forehead. I'm going to let it dry, and then we're going to do another layer. That was originally what I said in the last clip that I thought I was recording. Okay, my camera clearly doesn't like me because now the battery keeps dying. But anyway, I used the Obvi lip liner from ColourPop, and we did do more exaggerated Cupid's bow for this. And then I topped it with, this is a Valentino Beauty lipstick. This is the shade 100R, which came out to be the perfect tone. I did go ahead and pat the glue spot with some setting powder because when you do stuff like that, you have to. And now I'm going to go in and we're going to create like a moss spot. So I'm just going to go in with a brown eyeshadow, a mid-toned brown, and I'm going to keep it cool toned just to match the vibe. And then we're just going to start patting that around the spot. Since Moth is very earthy. Alright, now we're going to go in with a darker brown, a little bit of like a chocolate, and just do random pats to create dimension. Alright, now I'm going in with an olive tone. This is from the Friday the 13th palette, that one right there. And And I'm going to go in with that same brush and we're gonna get nice in that green. Like I want to saturate the brush because I want it to really highlight the green in it. So now I'm going to go in with a flat brush and this more foresty green right here. And this is where we're going to be more direct with where the texture is. So like where you see there's glue raised, you're going to just dab that moss green, that foresty green right on top. See how it just creates, oh my goodness, I love art. Perfect, we're leaving it just like that. I went and gave her a whole gap. Alright, okay, so while those teeth are drying, I'm gonna go in with the first palette we used in that like blue-gray tone on like a very skinny brush, pretty much what I use for like a cut crease. And we're gonna start shading to like add some dimension. Okay, I've had to turn my camera off I don't even know how many times at this point because it keeps dying. So I put on the charger, I filled in this spot right here, put on my upper and lower lashes. I'm pretty much done. I did do some shading here. I may have to add a little bit more right there because it's looking like it just doesn't fit. So we're gonna do that too. Yeah, and then I have to put contacts in and my wig with my little headpiece. So I'm gonna go do all of that and then just come back and show you guys the final look. Alright guys, that is the end of the tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had so much fun creating this. I really debated adding the contacts because I'm blind as a bat with them, clearly, but it does really add to the look. And yeah, I loved this. It did take me like 3.5 hours to do because my camera kept dying, otherwise I would have finished a lot sooner. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Happy official spooky season. I'm planning to do many Halloween looks, but this is to kick the season off. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching and I hope to see you in the next one.